Okay, Team Impact, we are rolling into chapter 10. 10, 3 to go, 10, 11, and 12. And then we've got 12 chapters to review. PSSA is the first week of May. We're going to lose a week for the PSSA language arts. So that's March and April. So we've got 7 weeks to crank this out. So we got to stay focused. We got to have a good core, and we got to get rolling here. So if you're absent, I hope you're watching this video. Today we're going to find the volume of a rectangular prism. We're going to reference this formula sheet that's provided by the state. We're going to be using this formula right here. Rectangular prism, by definition, just has the bases as two congruent rectangles. All right, congruent just means equal. So this is equal to this. Volume equals length times width times height. Certainly going to be using our calculator. Let's get into this thing and get rolling here, okay? And they talk a little bit about this right here on page 740. A three-dimensional figure has length, width, and height. You know, that's the third dimension, right? So when we have a three-dimensional figure, we're looking for volume. Volume is the capacity, the liquid, the gravel, the sand, anything that it will hold. Talk to you a little bit about the rectangular bases there. This is a rectangular prism. Okay, volume's always in cubic units, whether it's inches, if there's nothing, it's units, or if it's centimeters cubed. So we want to label that as cubic units. Area, if you recall, was square units. Square units. Okay. Now, one other thing here is a different formula that you'll notice, and they call it V equals capital BH. All right. And capital BH means, all right, the area of the base. So what they're saying is find the area of the base and then multiply it by the height. I like length times width times height. Length, width, and height. But you might sometimes see that. All right, let's get into this thing. Let's get circled up. In the homework, we're going to get circled up here on page 743, 1 to 10. Okay. All right. And let's flip it over here. Actually, let's skip 10. Those problems seem to cause a lot of confusion. Okay. And then let's go 15. Okay. Through 19. Okay. 1 to 10, 15 through 19. All right. So that's our homework tonight. Certainly, if you need scratch paper, you can get it. We're going to get into this guided practice right now. Excuse me. And here we go. All right. We're on page 742. A rectangular kitchen has a length of this. All right. It has a width of this and a height or depth of this. Find the amount of water. So volume equals length times width times height. If we take our handy dandy calculator, and I'm going to grab mine, I like this one over here, and just plug that in, right? And I'm going to go ahead and clear my memory. All right, 25.25 times 19.75 times 10, and we end up with that. Now, okay, we're going to end up with 4,986 and 875 thousandths inches, and remember, inches has a period. It's volume, so it's now cube, and there's a 3 there. I always like to circle that. Okay. Number 2. Find the missing dimension of a rectangular prism with a volume, of that, a width of that, and a height of that. So we're looking for the length. All right. Just like with just like with finding the missing side with area, I'm going to start with my formula. I'm going to plug in what I know, 126 under the volume. It's cubic units. The width is 7 7/8 times the height of 2 to what? We're looking for the length. We'll call it L. I'm going to combine these two numbers. So 7 and 7/8 times 2, all right, is, and we could simplify that down, 15 and 3/4 L. I have to bring the 126 down. Now, to solve for that, we're going to divide both sides by 15 and 3/4, 15 and 3/4, and I'm going to write my L over there because I'm getting into this rate yourself thing there. But when you take this and divide it by this, you end up with 8 centimeters. That is not volume. That's the length, linear feet. So we just label it in centimeters. We already had the volume, which was 126 cubic centimeters. Okay, so formula, plug your numbers in, work backwards, use your calculator. All right, got a good pace going. Let's get into number 1. Number 1 reads, find the volume. 4 2/5. Okay, and this is, we don't even need to write this down. If they give us 3 numbers like this, it's pretty easy. 4 2/5 times 10, times 10 times 3 is 132. And they're all in meters cubed. Let's circle that. Let's go to the next one. 5 times 10 times 12 UN over D, 3 down arrow, 8 to the right. Hit your enter, and it needs simplified, 618 and 3/4, and we're going to call that yards square. Now, some of you might want to write it like this instead of 3/4. That's fine. Yards cubed. I think I just said square. Okay. Apologize about that. That happens sometimes. Okay, let's slide down to number 6. These are just straight computation. Oh, this one isn't number 5. Let's slide over to number 5. Number 5, it says find the length. Let's circle that with a prism with a volume of this, a width of this, and a height of this. Volume equals length times width times height. I got that right off my formula sheet. The volume is 2830.5 equals 18.5 times 9. 9 what? What are we looking for? The length, 9L. We need to combine these two numbers by multiplying them. 18.5 times 9. 18.5 times 9. Got to watch these calculators. Sometimes will get you. 166.5 L. 2830.5. Now, all we're going to do is solve for L. We're going to divide both sides by this, something we have been doing for a while. And when you divide this by this, you bring, this will cancel, L comes down. This divided by this is 17 meters. That is not volume, that is the length. All right, these are all in linear feet. That's in cubic units. Okay, all right, rolling right along here. Okay, let's do 2 more. Let's do 6 and 8. Missing a side. Here we go again. Volume equals length times width times height. It's the discipline of the little things. It's the discipline of writing the formula down, plugging the numbers in, combine these two numbers. So we're just going to multiply 2.5 times 4 and get 10. 10 what? 10L. We're going to divide both sides by 10. L comes down. 60 divided by 10 is 6. 6 what? 6 inches. And make sure you put a period after that. Okay. All right, rolling right along here. Number 8 will be the final one that I'm going to do with you. Just jumping around here, really focusing on working backwards. In Japan, farmers have created watermelons in the shape of rectangular prisms. Find the volume of a prism-shaped watermelon with a in cubic inches. Uh-oh. With a length of 10 inches, here's the problem, 2/3 of a foot, and a height of 9. We've got to change 2/3 foot to inches. So, how many inches are in a foot? That's a fundamental review things that we have done. There's 12 inches in a foot. So if I take 2/3 and I say of 12, what's 2/3 of 12? 8 inches. So I'm going to write that right under there. So now I'm going to go ahead and multiply my length times my width times my height. 10 times 8 times 9. All right, that's 80. 80 times 9, 720, as you can see, and it's 720 inches cubed. Be careful of your labels. All right, guys, I hope that was a good start for you. Have a good day.